This demonstration is part 2 of my Tapestry of Texture video, and it's about building more layers of paint on top of this textural composition I made last week, and in order to try and integrate the pieces a little bit more. So this is kind of hard to teach because everybody's tapestry or mixed media piece is going to be slightly different. So this really is about reflecting. I had to reflect on this kind of all weekend, just keep looking at it like, well, what am I going to do next? I've got all this red and then I've got the brown here. What do I want to really be the focal point? So I kind of want this brown architectural structure to be the focal point. So I'm going to make some color changes to that. I like the red, particularly up here at the top. I'm not going to change that. I've got a little red window here, but this area of red and this area of red of the bag they're competing to me. So I thought maybe I'm going to take in some of this, I think it's a Prussian blue and light phthalo blue that got printed on this fabric. Maybe I'll bring some of that down into this area in hopes that I'll focus more here. And then I'm going to go more of a neutral color here. I'm going to stain this with a Van Dyke brown to get in these creases. I'm going to do that first. Hopefully it'll dry a little bit. And then I'm going to brush over, dry brush over. I believe it's going to be iridescent copper, but you never know. It could change. So that's my overall plan. I think it's important to take that reflection time. I think we're so taught or trained, you got to get it done. You got to complete it. But if you don't know, then you're throwing stuff on your piece and maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. So I gave this a little thought. Fingers crossed. Okay, so this is the Van Dyke brown. I'm making a little bit of a wash, and the goal is to get into the creases in this corrugated cardboard. Other things I could do with this corrugated cardboard. So like I said, I see this as a little piece of architecture. If I painted glue on here and put sand, then it might look like some ancient building found covered in sand. So that was a thought. I'm thinking I'm going for sort of a more, maybe a metallic look, which I'll brush on top. After going to the Golden Reps presentation and learning about the iridescent copper, I thought, oh, that would be so cool to paint iridescent copper on here and then spray it and then have it turn into some, like a patina. But I need more time to play with that. So I decided not to do it. But another fun thing to do would be to just test this out or test that out on some corrugated cardboard. And then I would have this corrugated cardboard with a metallic patina that then I could use as mixed media collage material. This also kind of looks like a corrugated rooftop, which is really cool. Already got some of the green going there. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry. And looks so dark. Hang on. See if I can move my light here. Still looks really dark, but when I brush over it, that should change. Okay, now I'm going to come in here with this lighter blue and maybe some mixture of Prussian or Payne's gray to connect it more to this piece back here and try and create more attention to this little window down here. Okay, and I'm going to do for this one, I don't want to completely eliminate my red. So I'm going to dry brush over that. So no water on this flat brush, and then I'm just going to drag across the top of that. So it'll still have those red undertones that connect to this piece back here. I've never liked these plastic mesh bags, but now I'm changing my mind. There's potential there. Okay, so that's calling more attention to this window. I think I'll do a little bit more down here because I put some of that netting down there. Okay, now I kind of like this crease in here, so maybe I'll run some of the Prussian blue up here into that crease so it looks a little more shadowed. Not sure if I want it that light, so I'm going to go over with a little bit of this Prussian blue, push it back a little bit. So kind of scrubbing and mixing the colors right there on that netting. And I may not end up loving this piece, but there's enough, it's interesting to me what's going on in there. It bears repeating to me in some future project. Okay, so I like that I have more attention here and up here. Now I'm going to come over here and do something with this to pop it back out. And I am going to go, well, I've got copper here, so now I'm going to use this iridescent copper over here. Let's see what that looks like. Again, dry brush. And then I'm going to drag that low 45-degree angle across the top of that corrugated cardboard. I love this. I could see getting a whole bunch of this corrugated cardboard and just playing with different colors, and I'd have a whole little collage library of this textured material that I could use in pieces. I kind of like the green that was there before. I might come back later and paint over some green. Okay. Still looks pretty, I mean, to me it looks pretty light, but I'm looking on camera, it looks a little darker than it actually really is. But I like the copper look. Okay. I could extend it over here, or I might pull in some of that ultramarine blue there. I don't really know. Little copper detail down here on the rickrack. Okay, now I'm not going to do this, but I'm going to give this as an example. What about including our objects, larger objects? So I found this funny lozenge shaped rock on the beach. So oftentimes I like to incorporate an object like that. And I couldn't find my gold thread. Sometimes I will do something like wrap that. This is copper metal wire. Oftentimes, if it's like a thread, I'll actually poke a hole and anchor it to the surface of my piece. Here, I could incorporate some metal and attach that there, like a little object. Sometimes I'll put a little feather. It needs something more, something lighter. I actually now I'm thinking this feels rather heavy because this seems kind of heavy. It might be a little feather down here that I attach. So there's still more that could be done, but I've started integrating these things more, and now I have, here's my main focal point, but then I've got this up here and this little peekaboo window over there. Okay.